where we consider what Jehovah's counsel there is, and really how you want your marriage arrangement to be also. Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verses 9 through 12 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their hard work. For if one of them should fall, the other one can raise his partner up. But how will it be with just the one who falls when there is not another to raise him up? Moreover, if two lie down together, they will also certainly get warm. But how can just one keep warm? And if somebody could overpower one alone, two together could make a stand against him. And a threefold cord cannot quickly be torn in two." And this describes how your marriage arrangement wants to be. You're going to support Mike. Mike, you're going to support Nikki. And that's going to make it a strong bond. But now once you weave Jehovah into your marriage, see, that threefold cord won't quickly be broken in two. See, he's got the counsel that you can apply that will keep your marriage strong, will keep you working together and moving forward to meet your goals. See, the pages are available, or the devices available to us through the pages of the Bible. So, Mike, what you need to do is to take the lead spiritually and emotionally for Nikki. If you can do everything that in your power to bring Jehovah into your arrangement with Nikki's cooperation, what a strong marriage bond that's going to be. So take time to study the Bible together, to worship together, to pray together. As a united family, that's what draws you even closer together, closer than you think you are right now even. The Bible has much to say to both husbands and wives. And since, Mike, you're going to be the head of the house now, let's start with you. What does the Bible's counsel give to you to help you start off this marriage on the right foot? First of all, the reason why we start with you is contained for us in 1 Corinthians chapter 11 and verse 3. And we read of the headship principle here. It says, "But I want you to know that the head of every man is the Christ. In turn, the head of a woman is the man. In turn, the head of the Christ is God." Well, there's the headship principle. And as we notice, you're the head of the family, but you also have a head, and that's Christ. Just as Christ has a head, that's Jehovah. So in this whole arrangement, Jehovah is the only one who doesn't have a head that he has to report to. See, so you also have an example in Christ, because he left that example for us to follow closely. See, just as Jesus is in subjection to Jehovah, you need to be in subjection to Christ and exercise that same type of loving headship that Jesus gave. So when you take the lead in bringing spiritual things into your household, you're setting that example of Jesus that Jesus set. See, taking the lead, though, doesn't really give you the authority to be a tyrant. Can you imagine that Jesus demanded things of the congregation, of the disciples? See, no. They follow his example. And taking the lead, you'll find out how decisions that you need to make will affect Nikki. And so you'll want to find out from her how those decisions are going to affect her, and take her feelings and her actions into consideration. Actually, I know that you're already doing this, because as you're making wedding plans and everything coming together for this, you made those decisions together, didn't you? And you came over to the house the other night. We talked about it. See, and you have some long-term goals, and that's good. And that you can talk with Nikki, and that you can make these decisions together for the long-term benefit of your family. And the one that I'm really looking forward to finding out is the closet space issue. So I'm going to keep on top of that one, because that's going to be interesting how you work it out. Creative thinking and being flexible, that's how it's going to be worked out. And I'm sure the decision will be made for the best arrangements for your family. See, it's that communication that opens up that really needs to be stressed. If you do that, Nikki is going to build deep respect for you. And that's critical over the years. And again, Jehovah has given you an example to follow. Ephesians chapter 5, verses 25, 28, and 29 describe this example as Jesus. It says, "Husbands, continue loving your wives, just as the Christ also loved the congregation and delivered up himself for it. In this way, husbands ought to be loving their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no man ever hated his own flesh, but he feeds and cherishes it, as the Christ also does the congregation." So again, here's your exemplar. His love was so great for the congregation that he gave up his life for it. You know, can you imagine your love being that great for Nikki? Not that Nikki, I'm sure, wants you to do that, but see, your love needs to be that deep. And by following Jesus' example, you can have that feeling, that deep love for her. Jesus also unselfishly put others first. He didn't demand anything. Even though, think of his lofty position. He was designated a king of God's kingdom. He was a perfect individual. He was the Messiah, was the head of the congregation, yet he didn't make demands. What example can you take from that? Well, just as Jesus didn't demand anything from the congregation, you don't demand anything from Nikki. And it's by a loving arrangement that you have between the two of you that accomplishes things. See, Jesus was lowly in heart. He was refreshing to be around. And he was perfect. See, we're imperfect. And so how much more so do we need to apply that counsel to be humble and lowly in heart, to be refreshing to Nikki as you provide this loving headship in your family. Sometimes the words are very hard to say, but you're going to have to say, "I'm sorry, Nikki, I made a mistake." And when that happens, you're going to want her understanding. Consequently, if you do that and set the lead, when she makes a mistake and she has to apologize to you, then it won't be as traumatic. And each of you will know and understand what the others are going through. We read there, too, that a husband should love his wife as his own body. You don't go out and you don't deliberately hurt yourself. You take care of your needs. When you're hungry, you eat. When you're tired, you sleep. Well, the example now is you need to do the same for Nikki. That you need to cherish her that much and take care of her, just like you do your own flesh. So never be bitterly angry with her or downgrade her, because really, as a part of the family and one flesh, you're really downgrading yourself, aren't you? So keep that in mind. Over the years, Nikki is going to come to love you and deeply respect you for doing that. Nikki, what can you do to get your marriage started off so that you're dearly loved by Mike? Well, your role as a wife is a truly honorable position. It's dignified. 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 17 tells husbands to honor their wives. And that honor is a direct command from Jehovah God. So he dignifies the wife within the marriage arrangement. And remember the reasons why Jehovah created Eve in the first place? First of all, was to be a helper and a complement. Adam was a complete individual. He was perfect, but yet something was lacking, wasn't there? He needed a mate to fulfill that commission. And so therefore Jehovah provided that mate. Mike is a complete person. But now you're his complement. And you're providing qualities that Mike doesn't have to the family arrangement.